The failure of the G lineup, the pricing of the Razr, iffy software updates, the lack of innovation that we once saw. I could go on and on if I were to list out all the issues that's been plaguing Motorola. But for the last year or so, Motorola have been trying to change that perception. They've been trying to give themselves an edge, so to say, with the Edge series of smartphones. So have they managed to do that with the Edge 20? How does this phone fare after me spending 10 days with it? Well, here's what I feel. My name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and welcome to my full review of the Motorola Edge 20. Let's get started. You know how Motorola names their phones usually, right? Turbo means it has a turbocharger, Razr means it's sleek as a razor, Force is pretty much indestructible, and the Edge, well, it has a curved edge display, or it rather did. Because now Edge is a series, and in fact the Edge 20 is about as far as Moto could have gotten from curved edges. Neither the front nor the back have any kind of curves. The whole phone has a boxy, almost industrial feel to it, and initially I didn't think I was gonna like it. Because boxy phones, they tend to cut into your palms when you're on long calls. They're just pretty uncomfortable to wield, but not here. In fact, I was quite surprised how nice the Edge 20 felt in hand. And the reason for this is twofold. Number one, despite the back still being plastic, the frame is metal, so it feels solid. And number two, the plastic here has helped Motorola keep the weight down to a manageable 160-ish grams. For a phone with a 6.7-inch display, that's deceptively light. To put it into perspective, to give you some kind of relativity, the Edge 20 is closer in weight to a 5.4-inch iPhone 13 mini than the 6.1-inch iPhone 13 Pro. Yes, the plastic back is a negative, but at least it is matte, so it looks decent enough. The color here, no, this is quite something, right? You're gonna either love it or hate it. For me, I love it because it reminds me of one of the best color options on a phone ever. I really wish Samsung would bring this back. By the way, anyone knows what phone this is? If you do, leave a comment below. Anyway, coming back, the 6.7-inch display, it's AMOLED, so it comes with the typical AMOLED saturation. Motorola have kind of messed up the color temperature. Usually, I tend to leave the display as is, but the factory calibration here was so bad that I had to warm up the panel a little bit. But guys, this is not a big deal because the display, it's gotten a lot of other things going for it. For starters, it's bright, it's got HDR10 support, it's got Gorilla Glass for protection, a tiny little unobtrusive hole punch for the selfie camera. And here's the kicker, it's got 144 Hz refresh with 576 Hz touch sampling. Now, while all those high numbers sound great on paper, I did go into this video, this testing process cautiously optimistic. Because the chip inside, unlike the one on the Edge before this, it's a mid-range chip, a premium mid-range chip, but still mid-level SoC nonetheless. This here's a Snapdragon 778G paired with 8 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM and 128 gigs of UFS 2.2 storage. The 778G seems to perform about as well as a flagship Qualcomm chip from a couple of years back, but it is built on a 6nm manufacturing process, meaning it is more efficient in comparison. So the performance, we will get to that in a bit. Right now, as far as the efficiency goes, this 4000 milliampere battery inside managed to keep a 6.7-inch 144 Hz panel running for more than a day. Now guys, some people ask me, why do I not talk about screen on times? That is because screen on times are just not an effective or accurate way to calculate battery drain. It varies way too much based on how the person testing the phone actually uses it. Now, let's say I just ran video on this phone, which would technically be screen on time because the screen would be on. Then, as per GSM Arena, this phone is supposed to be able to run video for 18 hours straight. So, 18 hours screen on time? That's not right. Now, let's say instead I ran Genshin on it continuously. It would probably kill the phone in 2-ish hours. So, 2 hours screen on time? That doesn't sound right either. So this is why I don't go with screen on times, because they are very subjective. I'd rather mention if I used it lightly or heavy and how my battery life was kind of gonna be. It isn't the perfect solution, but at least it gives you a realistic expectation of what you can get out of the battery. Now for me, every one of the days I use this phone, even with mid to heavy use, I ended my day with 20 to 30% left in the tank. The 6nm chip seems to do its thing. There were no heating issues either. And given there is a 30-watt charger included in the box, you can go 0 to 100 in about an hour. So By the way, the next time you see a YouTuber talking screen on times, look at his usage. Sometimes you can see people say things like, it's got 7.5 hours of screen on time. But then when you look at the actual screenshot that they're posting, you can see they were running YouTube for about 10 hours. So they were just kind of manipulating stuff to fit their story. Like a phone, run YouTube more. Don't like a brand, then go ahead, let's play Genshin more. I don't know. So anyway, this is just a fun little fact. Now coming back, like I said, I left the refresh on at 144 Hz all the time since Auto would only switch it between 60 and 120 even with the latest software update. So at a constant 144 Hz, I still did not notice any stutters. I didn't expect the user interface, the user experience to be so good, but it was. Everything felt smooth, apps were quick to launch, gaming performance was also as good as you could expect it to be. If I had one negative to point out, it would be the fact that there's just a single downwards firing speaker here. Yes, it is reasonably loud, but we've definitely heard better in this segment. And while we are at the topic of negatives, hey, there is no headphone jack, there is no support for micro SD. They still managed to find some space to fit a dedicated Google Assistant key that is not remappable. That's just annoying. I mean, you could have used the space better, right? Micro SD or 3.5mm jack, there is no space for that. But this key, the best thing I can say about this key is that it is placed a little too high, so accidental presses weren't an issue. Now, other summaries include an IP52 rating that should guard you against some splashes at the very least. The fingerprint scanner, despite OLED, is still built underneath the power key. I have mixed feelings about this one because it's fast enough, yes, but I do prefer under-display scanners. Next, we've got 11 bands of 5G support. There is support for carrier aggregation. Call quality is awesome. There's NFC, Wi-Fi 6 support too, so nothing to whine about, I would say. Now, returning back to the performance and user experience, the Edge 20 runs on MyUX, which is basically stock Android with very few Motorola tweaks. With the recent fusing of Oxygen and ColorOS, stock Android-ish interfaces are becoming harder to find. So I feel this is one huge positive for the Edge 20. Additionally, there is no bloat at all, no advertising stuff for you to opt out of. The entire experience feels exceptional. And you know how I said this is basically stock Android with very few Moto tweaks? Almost all of these tweaks can be found under the Moto app, whether you want to personalize the Edge 20 by changing the icons or fonts, or if you want to use gestures like double twist to launch the camera, swap to switch between the front and rear cameras, it is all present right here. Some of our long-term favorites like chop chop to turn on the flashlight and three-finger screenshot return alongside newer ones like swipe to split. Overall, these are tucked away quite nicely into one app, and more importantly, they do not bog the interface down. Motorola beat it up, promises 2 years of security patches with 2 major Android version updates. It is a promise. Whether they deliver or not, only time will tell. Now, the big change this time with Motorola's Edge 20 series is ready for. It's very easy to dismiss this as, hey, it's just another version of Dex or it's just Miracast, but actually it is a lot more. First, the PC version ready for. Here you access your phone from inside Windows. That's what it lets you do. You have access to either a desktop version of things like you'd get on Dex, yes, or you can even get your phone exactly mirrored. Now, if you ever thought we have all these high resolution cameras on phones, but we are still spending money on webcams, Moto seems to think quite similarly. So when you connect this Edge 20 to PC via USB, not only do you get your regular transfer, camera, tethering options, but you also get a webcam option. So you can use the front and rear cameras for Skype, Zoom, whatever it is that you want to do with your PC, on your PC rather. Then we have the Miracast stuff. Now, Miracast is something we'd find on all Android phones a few years back. It was called wireless display. Google has slowly and intelligently phased it out in favor of casting, which is something you can only do with Chromecast-enabled TVs and TV boxes. Now here, Moto brings Miracast back in a swell way. You have multiple ways of using your phone. You could either have that same desktop experience that we saw on the PC. You can have it here with Miracast and use the phone as a trackpad or pair a real keyboard and mouse and get to use the TV as a big desktop. Now, if you just wanted to watch Netflix or something, you could choose the video option. It's a different launcher. It's easy to control with a physical remote or the phone itself as a remote. Next, we have camera, which basically lets you pick, say, zoom and see everything on the big screen, while your phone again becomes a glorified webcam. And finally, we have game. This one I didn't have a lot of luck with. I didn't really like the experience. I felt there was way too much lag. Maybe it would improve with time, but it's very unlikely. Now that's it. I really like what Motorola is doing with Ready for. I actually think there's enough content here to probably do a dedicated video around it. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. Now, coming back to the software, another area where Motorola has tweaked stuff is with the cameras. We have a triple camera setup to the back. This, it protrudes and it makes typing while the phone rests on a surface a horrible experience. It is offset by using a case, but anyways, let's now talk about the cameras themselves. The primary is a 108 megapixel f1.9, a Samsung sensor that does Nona binning. So it combines 9 pixels into one to shoot an effective 12 megapixel image with 2.1 micron sized pixels. As you can see, it does quite well as long as there's ample light. Under low light, I'm not complaining, but given 2.1 micron sized pixels, I did expect it to fare better. These images are a tad too noisy for my liking. Now, Motorola has done something super weird with the ultra wide and telephoto. The 16 megapixel ultra wide gets downscaled to 12 megapixels. The 8 megapixel 3x telephoto, on the other hand, gets upscaled to 12 megapixels. Now, the performance here is nothing to write home about, but I'm very happy to see 3 actually usable cameras on a phone instead of macro sensors or depth sensors just making up the numbers. The macro is still available, but weirdly, that's at 16 megapixels. So you're basically cropping in with that ultra wide camera and then scaling it back up. It's usable enough though. For video, we can get up to 4K 30, pretty stable. I particularly liked how we can move through all sensors while shooting. That is at 1080p, of course, for obvious reasons. The selfie camera, it gets the job done. 32 megapixels quad bend, shoots 8 megapixels by default. I had some issues with focus, but for the most part, the performance I found it to be serviceable. So finally, what do we have here? The display, excellent. Build, I'd call it good. Hardware, very good. The cameras are average-ish. Battery life and charging, again, good. And the software, that's excellent. So as you can see, my overall experience with the Edge 20 has been largely positive. And at the 30,000 rupee price point, this seems to be an excellent offering from Motorola. Now, unless you can find a phone on sale with a huge price cut or cameras are more important to you, then I would say this is an excellent choice. It definitely gets 2 thumbs up from me. Talking about which, give this video a thumbs up or thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And it is now time for me to bid you adieu. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for watching. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I wish you all to have a nice day. Bye-bye now. And 3 finger screen. Okay, phone is off.